We need to talk about Ryan's world because something strange is happening right now. And honestly, it's getting a little disturbing watching Ryan's mom bouncing around on camera.
Today we're doing giant school versus
tiny school.
It almost feels like she told Ryan to step aside because now it's her time to shine. That's genuinely the vibe she gives off. But it is not just her. Ryan himself is barely showing up anymore. And when he does, they are pulling old footage just to keep his face on the channel. Like Ryan hilarious April Fool's pranks on Dad.
I think Daddy's coming home.
Old clips stitched into new content so it still technically counts as Ryan's world. Or Escaping the Game Master video where they actually use Ryan old video and introducing a new kid that they brought in.
Guys, we have to shoot out the shapes, and if we don't shoot it out, we won't pass.
We did some digging and we found out her name is Zadie, a Filipino-American actress who just joined what they call Ryan Squad. They should have called it the Milking Squad. And there are more kids after her, faces nobody recognizes. Definitely not Emma and Kate, which makes this whole thing strange. Because on one level, it is actually a good thing that Ryan is not being pushed to act like a 6-year-old anymore. That part is healthy. But if the answer is just to swap in hired kids, recycle toddler footage, add more adults, and keep the whole thing alive with substitutes, then is it even still Ryan's world? And that is the question nobody is really asking. Is this actually Ryan's way out? Is he finally stepping back from YouTube? Or is the channel just cycling through replacements? New kids, new adults, new faces, while keeping Ryan in the background just long enough so everyone does not notice the switch. Because they already ran this experiment with his twin sisters. It did not work either. But Ryan Kaji is now 14 years old, living in Hawaii. And from everything we could find, he is out there, swimming, playing tennis, and getting into animation. So the question is not whether the channel changed. It clearly did. What we do not know yet is whether his parents looked at their 14-year-old son and made a choice to build him a way out. Or maybe this has nothing to do with Ryan at all, just his parents doing whatever it takes to save the business and keep the same lifestyle. That is what we are going to find out. Ryan's world looks like a channel trying to rebuild itself from scratch with the same ingredients. Except Ryan is not the center of it anymore. The first attempt at a replacement was subtle. His sisters Emma and Kate were already in videos, already part of the family brand, so naturally they got pushed forward. It was the lowest risk move. Keep it in the family and see if they could squeeze the same formula out of the sisters too. The response was not terrible, but it was nowhere near the kind of attention Ryan used to pull when the channel was at its peak. So then came the next phase. Loanne started appearing more and more. She stepped further into the performance role, smiling harder, reacting bigger, doing the kind of content that once worked when Ryan was the one carrying it. But even that was not enough. And around her, more adults started appearing to help keep the format moving. Almost like the channel now needs extra hands just to imitate the energy one child used to provide on his own. And then the hired kids. Actual child actors brought in specifically to appear on Ryan's World videos. So you follow the timeline and you see the same decision made over and over again. Sisters, mom, random adults, hired children. Everyone can see them trying to manufacture the same magic Ryan brought naturally to millions of kids. And that is where the emotional weight of this really lands. If a channel needs that many substitutes for the one kid who made it work, then maybe the real version of that channel ended a long time ago, and they just do not want to admit it. The strangest part is that everyone seems to understand the obvious next step better than Ryan's parents ever did. And people in the comments have been saying this for years. He could have easily transitioned into a gaming channel. He is a teenager and so is his audience. They could have gone full STEM too, turning it into a learning channel. And those comments have hundreds of likes. That is not one person having an opinion. That is a consensus. Everyone seems to agree he could have gone multiple routes. Gaming, vlog, learning, anything that matched who he actually is at 14, rather than who he was at 3. Because we all stopped playing with toys around that age, especially the kind of toys his parents had been promoting on his channel for years. But his parents heard none of it. because the brand was not built for Ryan to grow up. It was built for a version of Ryan that stopped existing around 2019. And everything since then has been an attempt to pretend otherwise. That is what makes this feel so avoidable. Because this is not one of those stories where the audience simply abandoned him. It feels more like the audience was ready for Ryan to evolve, but the brand was not. That is why those comments hit. Not because every suggestion is perfect or that it would have saved everything, but because they reveal something deeper. People were open to seeing the real Ryan. They just were not interested in watching a teenager squeezed back into what he did when he was 6 years old. That is the tragedy of it. There were paths forward. Ryan could have done any of them and most likely have had the support of his fans. Or he could even have stepped away for a while and come back later as himself, rather than as a mascot for a childhood brand that had clearly run its course. But that kind of move would require the adults around him to accept that the old machine had done its job and reached its end. And that is the one thing his parents have never looked comfortable doing. So here is where we land. And the answer is genuinely not obvious. Option 1. His parents made a deliberate choice. They looked at their son and decided he had done enough. Let the business run without him. Nobody had to make an announcement. Option 2. This is survival. Ryan aged out, the audience left, and his parents are doing whatever it takes to keep the channel going. Ryan's freedom was never the goal, just a side effect. Either way, Ryan is barely on the channel anymore. And honestly, that might be the best thing that has happened to him. And whether that happened because his parents chose him over the brand, or because the brand simply stopped needing him, the result looks the same from the outside. A kid getting to be a kid. Finally. Let us know, do you think his parents are finally letting him go? Or is this just the business learning how to survive without him?